Alright, so here we are at Object 99. So the ground level, I don't know what, two little closets or something. Coat closets, I reckon. But as you walk in, you've got two doors and then the upstairs. We're going to go explore those other two doors a little bit later. Let's go upstairs first. What?
Holy crap, this room is so cool.
And then this is one of the bigger, probably like the grand hall. I don't know. This must have been where they had parties or something like that. And it walks out into the courtyard. Now this courtyard, sure it's a little bit overgrown, but even in how it is now, it's probably a pretty cool place to hang out. And the wing to the right is sort of like the mini apartments that a lot of other people stayed in. And I believe the wing to the left,
I don't know why I fucking
that
hate
one,
that.
is more of Tito's private wing, even though Tito
That's
rarely
also part of
spent
the reason
any
why
time
so many
here.
people are like hesitant to give away locations of other abandoned places that aren't all fucked up. So it's like,
This would have been amazing.
I want to go down there. I want to see if you can see Plitvice Lakes. I guess when they said villa, they weren't fucking around.
No, this is insane.
It's all held up surprisingly well for being built with prison labor. And right down that way is where the Plitvice Lakes are. And I'm sure, 20 years ago
You could
when
just sit here
this
and
was
listen to
actually
all
being
of it.
used, the trees might have been a little bit smaller and trimmed. You might have actually been able to see Plitvice Lakes from this spot right here. You can see just how massive this building is.
Fuck, why don't I ever bring my phone for this shit?
Your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I can try this.
To take pictures.
Oh, well, I have my phone. You can look at pictures.
It's like this wall. Where the fuck does that lead? Oh, nowhere.
Holy crap, that's a great drop off.
It's probably where they interrogated people.
Yeah.
I wonder how many political prisoners got thrown down that. Probably none, but just something cool to think about.
Oh, this goes all the way back around to the front. This looks like ventilation or water.
There's a hole here too.
Yeah. Paper drainage.
Fucking elevator.
A house with its own elevators. But one thing that I noticed is it seemed like most of the damage was just vandals. It wasn't really war ravaged like a lot of the other things that we had seen.
Such a cool house. I'm gonna make a picture with the brick.
Fucking ultimate wraparound balcony.
Do you know how long it's been abandoned for?
Probably not long. I wouldn't imagine long. Tito was in power till like 92.
Oh. Subaru magazine on the
Subaru?
on the corner. The newspaper. Never happened here to make all this cave in. I mean, this house seems pretty well built.
I don't know. Watch yourself right here. It looks like the floor's fixing to cave in too.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels hollow.
The fuck is all this shit?
Anything written on it?
No?
Looking for some sort of propaganda flyers, but there wasn't anything.
It's all typewriter stuff.
We're up a level from how we came in.
Yeah, yeah. Wanna try and... Hmm?
That was the main entrance.
Right.
Making sure I know where we are.
The furniture must have been looted by
Always possible
people.
I might have to run.
Like, it seems relatively empty for how large it was and just the fact of how it was abandoned. You'd think there would be more furniture, but
Let's go up.
it was probably really nice furniture. So if you lived in the area and this place got abandoned, and you could just go and renovate your house with socialist dictator quality furniture,
Scratch yourself.
why not, right?
This used to be hardwood flooring and we totally ripped it out. The bathroom?
Yeah. People took hammers to the toilets and everything. It's
I
like
wonder if it's so destroyed partially because this man is probably hated by so many people.
every abandoned place looks like this.
Oh.
I'm gonna do this side first.
And I'm not quite sure what these rooms were for, unless they were, rooms for, the very, very important people, or possibly guards, since you could look out to the front. Because as we'll see in a little bit, there is a series of apartments in here, and they're all pretty close to the same layout. And they're nice, but they're a little bit smaller than this. They each have their own staircases, and they're mini apartments within themselves. And if you want the background history on this, the video that I uploaded right before this one covers all the background history, how it was built, all that stuff. So check that out if you want a little more of a detailed history of Object-99, aka Villa Izvor. But this is more just the walkthrough, sort of the raw, unedited footage, sort of to preserve the history if anything was to happen to this, just so people could see what it used to look like. Not in its glory days, but in its abandoned state. I think this is probably more the maintenance wing. I'm seeing a lot of electrical panels, and it's not quite as nice, and it looks like you could probably have maybe some HVAC stuff, chimneys. I think this is more of the maintenance wing. I don't think a lot of the high-ranking officials really ever saw this part of the building. This must have been the maintenance area. So these were clearly their own little rooms. You have your balcony, main room, and then a bathroom. So I think these might have been the lower grade rooms, because the other ones had their own little staircase up to it, which was actually really cool. If they were to revamp this place into a hotel, and you had your own little staircase up, and just given the location to Plivica Lakes, which is UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the most popular visited places in Croatia, somebody can make a lot of money renting rooms out here. But it would also take a pretty penny to resto this.
Okay. Did you see one?
Yeah, I got it on video. You should be proud of me. It flew right in my face and I didn't scream.
This is definitely like the servants' quarters.
Also, I don't know what was up with my GoPro. I don't know if it was just so dark that the stabilization didn't work very well. But the stabilization wasn't working very well, so my apologies for the shaky video. That was a bat.
Nice.
Do you think this has anything to do with the condition of this corner of the house?
What?
Do you see this TNT box on the
TNT.
floor? Look at my flashlight.
Oh, those are just fireworks.
Oh, okay. It just seems odd that this whole part is so collapsed. This side's a lot darker than the other side. It's a bathroom.
So these are sort of what I would think would be the medium tier apartments. Come up, little living room, the bedroom, nice balcony. Then you got a bathroom over here.
There's a shit ton of bathrooms in here.
As to where the other ones were just a small room and a bathroom with a smaller balcony.
Super creepy.
This dark ass hallway. Kill your light.
Long dark hallway.
And that's all down this hallway. All the rooms were exactly the same exact layout, but it was all down that huge hallway.
That's funny because that's his middle name, B-R-O-Z.
Oh. This used to be like a kitchen.
Yeah. I found the crawl space. I should go in the crawl space.
Yeah.
It's probably where the secret gold is hidden.
Babe, if there was anything secret in this house, it's gone. You are not the first one to explore it.
Through here.
Okay.
This must have been the ritzy bathroom.
Yeah.
There sure were a lot of bathrooms in this building.
It was just that fancy marble tiling on the front.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish that bat wouldn't have scared me.
Wouldn't have scared you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there was a newspaper written in Cyrillic in there. It's probably a Yugoslavian newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Almost done. Kind of.
I can't believe they use bamboo to build that. No wonder it's falling apart.
Right? walk through this. Oh, we were just in here.
Yeah. Are you sure they're...
So we have the last half of this side to explore, then the ground floor.
And again, there's several of these very large, sort of grand rooms. And I have no idea what they're for. I'm sure one was sort of like a cafeteria. I'm sure there was tables in one of them. One might have been like a dance hall or something, but I don't know. There's no way to really be 100% on that.
Oh yeah, we came in this
Yeah,
way.
we saw this from the outside.
Okay.
You went outside.
And it's pretty easy to get turned around in here.
Yeah, this is where there were stairs and they're totally gone.
Right.
It's crazy.
Okay, ground floor. We're good. Tito something.
Be careful, the floor's like bubbled up here. This is like a composite
Yeah.
subfloor.
Let's do this part and then come back around. Jesus Christ.
This is crazy.
Well, remember what I said about this probably won't take as long to explore as the other place?
You were kidding, right?
Might have been lying.
This is gonna,
I didn't know it was this big.
yeah.
There's another bathroom. All right, come. Hey,
Oh, there's stairs over here.
there's stairs over here too.
I wish my house was big enough to be able to have a wraparound balcony that you could literally run laps on.
Covered in mouse shit.
Lot of mouse poop.
It's a fucking brick bathtub.
Someone like sledgehammered it. This is like built-in wardrobe.
Where?
Right here. That would have been the closet and that would have been the bathroom. This would have been like a guest suite.
Would have been a pretty fucking sweet guest suite.
Its own stair entrance.
You can kind of see that there used to be dividers going through here.
It's another one, almost exactly.
I don't know if there was
I wonder if they
doors sort of in these dividers that if the people who were staying in the different rooms wanted to, you know, have a cigarette on the balcony together or something, if they could do that. But there was definitely dividers, so it was one whole thing with the dividers in there for each room. And you can see these rooms are quite a bit nicer than some of the smaller ones. They have bathtubs, big bathrooms, skylights.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So you had your own private.
Right.
All the rooms are pretty much the same though, even though they're a bit nicer, they are pretty much the same. And you can kind of see there was like a coating on the glass, almost like a tint, to probably keep it a little bit cooler, which some of the other windows didn't really have.
This one has a balcony. These last two have a balcony that goes out to the atrium. Seriously, what kind of fucking asshole do you have to be to bust out all these fucking windows?
I don't know. It's crazy.
And these also had balconies to the inside as well as to the outside.
This is the top. It's just attic above this.
Right. Well, yeah, two. There's probably a basement. Like, I've gotten fucked up with my stupid friends in a lot of fucking places. And never once have been like, oh, let's go destroy everything, bro. Like, look at this fucking tile.
Yeah.
I bet when this was built, that was some incredible shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, it used to have orange carpeting.
Look at that orange
that
shag.
material.
Don't you just want that in your house? That bright orange shag? Who wouldn't love that? With the wood paneling, that just screams late 80s, early 90s, maybe a little bit before that. It screams late 80s Yugoslavia for sure.
Well, here's the elevator. If you want to see the elevator. Right here.
Oh, that's destroyed. The ceiling must have fallen through again. Oh, yeah. Ceiling fell through there again. Oh my god, this carpet.
I'm glad I got a seal out of this because I have a feeling it's not going to be around very much longer.
Yeah. Be really careful on this deck. It feels quite rotted.
I didn't bring extra batteries. They're in the car, but I don't have them with me.
I bet in the fall with all those trees changing
It's
colors,
probably gonna be pretty bad.
had to be gorgeous. But this was, what, the first week of September, I believe? So you can see a little bit of color in the leaves, but nothing major. I bet in the peak of fall, in the leaf changing colors, it looked absolutely incredible out of these balconies.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, these are clearly individual apartments, but they're all pretty much the same exact layout. But probably was a pretty nice place to come back in the day. I'm sure since Tito rarely visited this place, and it was sort of just a party villa essentially for the Yugoslav National Army sort of higher ups, I bet some wild shit went down in this house.
Stairs going down.
So this clearly wasn't Tito's wing. This was clearly the sort of the visitor wing. So imagine all the stuff that you're seeing here with all these rooms. Well, the other side of it, at least half of the other side of it, was exclusively reserved for Tito. So why he rarely came here literally baffles my mind, because this place was cool the way it sits now. If Mrs. Wandering Lens wasn't with me, I probably would have slept here overnight. But I guarantee that when it was actual functional and had, the servants and everything else, I would have spent a lot of time here. But I'm not a Yugoslavian socialist dictator. One day.
They built the house right up against this side, mountainside.
Yeah, they did.
Alright, let's hurry. It's getting dark.
Okay.
This wing did kind of freak me out a little bit with the windows being that close to the actual outdoors. I was always afraid that at some point I was going to enter a room and there was going to be a bear in it. And then
All of it's just the exact same layout.
I don't know what I would have done if there would have been a bear in one of these rooms. It's probably what all the bathrooms would have came in handy for.
It's not really getting dark. We're just shrouded in fucking.
Well, it's creeping me out.
What's that stuff?
Is that a pool table, you think?
Or a ping pong table or something.
Something like that. Your game room.
There's access. Oh shit!
What was that?
I found access to the crawl space and I disturbed some bats.
Oh, jeez.
It's flying right in my head.
Yeah, I had one right in my face.
I just saw something move in the corner and I looked and I'm in this tiny little room with a bat.
Oh, jeez. Poor bad. Scared the crap out of it. You made a piece on you.
Whew.
Got your adrenaline going?
Jesus Christ.
This is massive. Oh, there's other people here.
Where?
There's a guy over there.
Where?
So this is right by the door. This is, if you were to walk in the door and just kept going straight, this is what you would see. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain that this was the bowling alley because I didn't do a whole lot of research before I came. I kind of like to research afterwards to sort of put the pieces together. But there was a bowling alley in this building, and this is really the only place that it makes sense for there to be a bowling alley.
Oh, yes, you're right. It definitely was a
All
bullet.
the nails are standing up, so don't step on any wood.
Okay.
I'm sure Tito never bowled anything less than a 290. And so this wing is probably the oddest area of the entire villa. So there's clearly one spot where I'm fairly certain it was, oh, I was going to grab that tire and throw it into a minefield, but Mrs. Wandering Lens chastised me for it. But this looked like it was kind of a workshop, or maybe kept extra parts there or something like that.
This one?
And I reckon this wasn't really a spot that Tito or the Elites was really familiar with. Possibly maybe like a servant's quarters or something like that. Probably some more storage. Another bathroom, because of course.
It's the one non-smashed toilet.
Heard a noise. I hope it was.
Those people leaving?
Yeah.
Access to sort of the upper floors, which also makes me think that might have been in the servant quarters, so they had easy access. And I'm 100% sure this was the boiler room. But here's where things get interesting.
I don't know.
So, I
Maybe
have a pretty,
boiler
yeah,
room?
that must have been a boiler room. You could see the big pipes. But if you look at this wall, it was definitely a wall at one point, but it's very, very thin, which would have made it very easy to pound through with a hammer. And then we have this other little thing. So you could imagine that at this point, my interest is peaked, absolutely peaked.
Pretty bats in there.
I saw two already.
And Mrs. Wandering Lens was pretty freaked out. More bats.
That is super creepy, babe.
This goes back.
So there's a lot of particles in the air. I really should have had a mask or something, but I didn't. But I could feel a wind coming through, so I knew that there was an opening on the other end, and I knew there was unlikely to be any like dangerous gases. A lot of places, if you,
Are you coming?
my last job that I had before what I do now, you had to get in a lot of like maintenance vaults, and you had to have a gas meter because dangerous gases could build up if there was no moving air in it, and it could kill you. But I could feel a moving air, so I knew that that was probably pretty unlikely. And obviously, finding this in a socialist dictator's mansion was too hard to resist. The downside is, we're 41 minutes in. I've deleted about 10 minutes of this video where it was just repeating. And this was my last GoPro battery, so didn't really work out too well. But at the end of it, it ended at the garages. And it makes sense when you really think about it. So you have this small, like really, really thin pseudo wall that you can break through in case of emergency. And then you have this big tunnel system with lots of twists and turns that ends at the garage so you could get to an escape vehicle. And the reason that the twists and turns would be sort of important is Tito could escape with his security services and then get around these corners so the people chasing him couldn't shoot at him. And instead, his security service could post up at the corners and wait for the people who are chasing them to make themselves present and then open fire on them while having a relatively good amount of cover. And if you see, all the turns are the same way, so people who are right-handed wouldn't have to switch shoulders with the rifle, and they could have maximum cover while still holding the rifle with their traditional rifle position, like a normal right-handed person would do it. But I never knew it was around the corner. And then the GoPro died. So that's all I have for you guys on this one. Thank you so much for watching. This is a crazy place. If you're ever in the area, go check it out. Absolutely loved it. Thank you all very much for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next one.